Hello EFD squad and welcome back to Euro Roundup. Chris Hamill is on holiday, so we've got Joe Tomlinson in this week.
Hey. That was weird.
Yeah, good. And we start off with Bayern Munich. Joe, tell me about them.
Yeah, they've had a really tough run, haven't they? And it continues for a little while yet. They've played Leipzig twice on the bounce. They've got Celtic, not the hardest game. Then they've got Borussia Dortmund on the weekend. So it's a really, really tough time for Bayern Munich under Jupp Heynckes. But they beat Leipzig on pens in the cup, didn't they? Then they beat them again, 2-0 in the Bundesliga on Saturday with goals from James Rodriguez in that number 10 role, replacing Thomas Müller and Robert Lewandowski. They are helped, though, by RB Leipzig's disciplinary problems. In fact, they've had a man sent off in 3 out of the 4 games against Bayern Munich. That's not acceptable. Naby Keita as well. He's always getting sent off at the moment. Really, really not good. I think he's been sent off 3 times in his last 7 games for club and country.
That's Granit Xhaka form.
He was sent off in the cup, and then Orban was dismissed after just 13 minutes in the Bundesliga, so not really good enough, especially when you've got talent like Robert Lewandowski up front for Bayern Munich. He's got 10 in 10 in the Bundesliga, 14 in 16 in all competitions this season, and he's helped by the fact that his central defenders are assist machines. Javi Martinez, who we know is absolutely fantastic in a Jupp Heynckes system, assisted him on the weekend, meaning that all of Bayern's centre-backs have provided at least 1 assist this season. And they're on fire. They can't stop scoring, Pato.
Yeah, they've scored in each of their last 60 competitive games at home. That's their longest run since 1982.
Woo!
That's absolutely nuts. That was when Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and Paul Breitner, all those guys were in the team. They're undefeated in 27 Bundesliga games at the Allianz Arena. 21 wins, 6 draws. That's a new club record. And they're unbeaten when leading at half-time in 126 Bundesliga games. They won 117 of those. Absolutely nuts. Since Heynckes came back, they've played 5 games, won 4, drawn 1, goals for 12, goals against 1.
Much better form.
He hasn't lost a game as a coach, in fact, since they lost 2-0 to Arsenal in the round of 16 in the 2012-2013 Champions League, which of course they went on to win. Bayern, in fact, lost just twice in all competitions that season.
Form.
So if Heynckes can carry that on, then they might be set for a historic season.
You did say, Pato did say that he thinks Bayern could win the Champions League this season under Heynckes.
Well, I think we'd all agree they've got the squad right, and it would be super funny if Heynckes won the Champions League again, and then somebody else had to follow him, like Pep did back in 2013. Anyway, it looks like they're on course for another league title, top of the league again, 3 points clear of Dortmund after that start, and the Bundesliga just carries on being predictable. Well done, Bayern. Unlucky Germany.
Our first loser of the day comes from Guna JAH on Twitter, and they say Real Madrid, Pato.
Yeah, Los Blancos lost 2-1 away at Girona, newly promoted Girona, and they're now 8 points behind Barcelona. I was going to say 4, it's 8, after just 10 games have been played. That ends Madrid's run of 13 consecutive away wins, which of course is a La Liga record. Yeah. Madrid have actually never in history gone on to become champions after falling 8 points behind the league leader. So they may already have to say goodbye to the title this season. Now, Girona are on a strong run. It's obviously their first time in La Liga, but they are getting some help from Man City, of course, with players and money. Now, Real Madrid have lost versus a newly promoted side in their first meeting in La Liga. That's happened for the first time since 1990 when they lost to Real Burgos.
That was a mouthful.
What a team they must be. But it started well for them. They were up thanks to an Isco goal after 12 minutes, but it went all tits up after half-time. Stuani and Porto scored within 4 minutes of each other. And actually, Girona were really good value for their win. Good. Porto hit the bar as well. And frankly, Real Madrid have been getting saved by the woodwork. They've seen their rivals hit the frame of the goal 9 times already this season in all competitions. They are getting saved, mate. But in this game, even the bar couldn't deal with it.
Yeah, I know. And it was actually a really even game. Like you said, obviously Madrid edged the possession, but both sides had 15 shots. Girona had 4 on target. Madrid had 6. And one man's form is surely starting to become a real concern for Zinedine Zidane. Yes, you guessed it, I'm talking about Cristiano Ronaldo in La Liga. He has just 1 goal and 1 assist in 6 games. It's really not good enough. 0.2 goals, 0.2 assists per 90 in domestic games. But he did try his hardest to amend that. He had 7 shots on the night, 3 on target. But Bono, not the singer, the Girona goalkeeper, kept him at bay. I believe this season, for that 1 goal, 1 assist, he's had 40 shots. Which is absolutely terrible conversion rate. Luckily, he's still banging them in the Champions League, isn't he? He's got 5 in 3. But some are starting to say this could be the end of Cristiano Ronaldo as a reliable goal scorer. He's still a goal scorer, but can you still rely on him to get that 30, 40 goals a season? I don't think you can anymore. And it's not looking good for Zidane. Like you said, a long way behind Barcelona in La Liga now. We know how short the lifespan of Real Madrid coaches are. But is he still going to be at the club come Christmas? I don't know, just made that up really, but answer the question up there in the poll. Cheers.
PSG are next up in our winners. This comes from @PeterStraw. Joe, tell me about them.
Yeah, well, firstly, a great name, Peter, and they won 3-0 at home against Nice, who we know at the start of the season people were considering to be a potential rival to stay top of Liga by 4 points. PSG are still undefeated this season as well. They've won 13 games and drawn just the 2. That is some scintillating form under Unai Emery, and unsurprisingly in this one, they dominated Nice. 66% possession, 16 shots to 9. They had 8 shots on target, and when you have 8 shots on target, you tend to win matches, especially when your opposition, in this case, Nice, had only 2 touches inside Paris's box in the first half. Not much they could do there, especially given that PSG were without Neymar due to his dismissal against Marseille, of course, where they wound him up, something chronic, and he got sent off, leaving mainly Di Maria and Cavani to pick up the pieces in this game, and they have been on good form, haven't they, Pato?
Yeah, Cavani got 2 on the night. Those were PSG's 2,500th and 2,501st League goals. In his past 63 games for the club, he's got 63 goals. He's averaging a goal involvement every 64 minutes in the league. In fact, he becomes only the 3rd man to have scored more than 100 goals in 2 of Europe's top 5 leagues. You might have seen this floating around about Higuain last week. First guy was Ibrahimovic, then it was Higuain, now Cavani's joined the club as well. The 3rd goal, though, came from an own goal. And actually, own goal is PSG's 3rd highest scorer this season.
Insane,
Cavani's got 11, Neymar's got 7, and then OG, not Olivier Giroud, OG has got 4. More than Mbappe. So,
insane.
You know, maybe OG, like the best youngster in the world.
Golden boy.
For the golden boy, yeah,
Golden
exactly.
boy.
Di Maria started his 6th game this season and was pretty good. 3 dribbles, 5 shots, that's the most in the game. Got 2 assists as well. So it really shows the depth of that PSG squad that they can bring on a player of his calibre as well. They've got Anderlecht in the Champions League on Tuesday, and they could take that unbeaten streak to 16 games. But are they real contenders for the Champions League? We want to know from you. Let us know in the comments below.
Our next suggestion comes from @Friday27 yet again. He's a regular contributor, and he says AC Milan, Pato.
Yes, of course, they lost 2-0 to Juventus after Higuain did what he does. He scored 2 goals in this victory at the San Siro. He's now got 101 goals in 153 Serie A games for Napoli and Juve since arriving from Madrid in July 2013. Now, it was a pretty even game aside from this. Milan had 54% possession. They had 12 shots to Juve's 9. Both sides had 4 on target, but it was Dybala and Higuain who made the difference. Dybala assisted the first and then produced a lovely dummy.
Gorgeous.
To allow Higuain to score the second, and that did put it beyond Milan. They had a chance to level the game up before half-time when Kalinic hit the bar, but frankly, they just don't have the star power right now to compete with the Argentines' output. Juve's win keeps the pressure on Napoli, who of course beat Sassuolo 3-1. Juve are 3 points behind them. So it looks like being kind of a tight race between the 2.
Yeah, and the pressure is now starting to mount on Montella, isn't it? They are already 8th and 10 points off the Champions League spots, which they desperately need as well to offset some of those financial loans. And the shadow of Carlo Ancelotti is looming large over the San Siro already. Milan had previously ended a 4-game winless run last Wednesday. Of course, they beat Chievo 4-1, a great result, but when you face Juventus in the form they are in, you can only expect to lose right now. It was Juve's 3rd straight win, and they extended their unbeaten run away from home to 5 matches, whereas Milan have now only won 1 in their last 6 games, whereas Juventus now have won 9 of their last 10 against Milan. That's just 1 defeat. stats coming out of my mouth that I don't even know. It's ridiculous. Milan have now failed to score in their last 3 home matches, though. That is a stat I do know. The longest drought since 2007. Montea, I'm sorry, the axe is coming down heavy, especially when people at the start of the season were saying, could they compete for a Serie A title? At the moment, they can't even compete for a Champions League spot. Juventus, on the other hand, are really competing with Napoli. Their next game, though, is away to Sporting in the Champions League on Tuesday, whereas Milan go away to AEK Athens on Thursday.
Huge tie.
Huge tie in the Europa League, guys. Massive game in the Europa League.
Best competition in Europe.
Exactly. So, where are Milan going to finish? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What a wrap.
Our final winner this week comes from @Liam A. Stewart, and he says Pek Zwolle from the Eredivisie, mate. I love this shout. This is niche.
This is a niche one, so we've had to do a fair bit of research, but they're well deserved. They continue their climb up the Eredivisie, winning 2-0 against Den Haag on the weekend. And bear with me for this pronunciation because it's almost definitely wrong, but we wanted to pull out Peter Parzajek, who opened proceedings here, scoring his first ever Eredivisie goal in well over a year. He last scored in April 2016. And also, Yunus Naomi, he wrapped up the points. He'd actually gone and had the most shots in the Eredivisie. I think he'd had 26 without scoring a single goal. So he's finally on the score sheet. Well done, Namli. On the balance of play, though, you'd have to say it is a well-deserved victory. They had double the amount of shots of Den Haag. They had 14. They had 6 on target, and Den Haag failed to even test the goalkeeper as well. If you don't know the nickname of Pek Zwolle, the Blue Fingers. What a nickname that is. The fullbacks were effective for them. 4 chances created from the fullbacks, which is really, really strong for an Eredivisie side. They also combined to make a combined 9 tackles and interceptions, which is a really, really high number. They now occupy 3rd in the Eredivisie. Pek Zwolle all the way up there in 3rd, doing their very own Leicester. 3 points ahead of Vitesse Arnhem. It's incredible stuff from the PEC boys.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of trouble coming up because they've got Vitesse next, and after that they go, I think, away to PSV, who of course are top of the league. They've taken 27 points from their first 10 games. First time PSV have done that since 99-2000, when of course they won the league. But Pek look like they can hang with the big boys, man. They've got 17.3 shots per game this season, 6 on target. That's what they're averaging. Those are really commanding numbers.
Shots a game.
Only Ajax have conceded fewer goals than them. So actually, the Leicester comparison is not entirely suspect. They actually had lower possession than Ardo in that game.
Yeah.
And yet still came out with a win. That's very Leicestery. It would also be very Leicestery if their manager needed to look for a new job in about a year and a half.
Claudio.
But they've only lost 1 game of the 10 they've played, and that was a 3-0 away loss to Ajax. So when it comes up against the rest of the team, the rest of the league, rather, they're just steamrolling them.
Fair play to
And as we saw last season with Chelsea, of course Chelsea are a different calibre of side, but they didn't really compete in the big games particularly well. They just battered the rest of the league. So who knows, frankly. Last campaign they were 14th, and it already looks like there's going to be a huge improvement this year. So we will be following their progress over the next few weeks. And Liam Stewart, thank you for this recommendation, mate.
Last but not least, it's Friday on Twitter yet again, and he says your final losers should be Atletico Madrid, Pato.
Yeah, they drew 1-1 at home with Villarreal. The Wanda Metropolitano is not looking like the fortress that the Vicente Calderón was. They're now 4th in La Liga. They're 4 points behind Valencia, and they're 8 points off top. Though, of course, they are, I believe, level on points with Real Madrid, thanks to their horrible form. But it could have been better for them in this game. Angel Correa scored an absolute beauty, killed a kind of cross-field volleyed pass from Griezmann.
Insane
and
assist.
battered it in. It's so good. But Carlos Bacca headed an equaliser in the final 10 minutes. That will be important later. Joe's going to tell you why.
Yeah.
They've now got 1 win, 1 loss, and 5 draws in their last 7 games in all competitions. They're 3rd in their Champions League group, behind Chelsea and Roma, and without a win in the Champions League. And the attack has fallen off a cliff. Last season, they were 3rd in La Liga for shots per game. They were 3rd for shots on target per game. This season, they're 14th for shots per game. They're 9th for shots on target. And frankly, I mean, they're looking like they're kind of relegation candidates when you look at their attacking.
Yeah, it's really not good. And if you actually look at the shots locations, it's even worse. In fact, only Alaves are currently taking fewer shots inside the penalty area than Atletico Madrid. They're taking about 5 a game. If you actually put that into context, last season, Burnley were taking 4.9. Sunderland were taking 5.1. That's how low Atletico Madrid's shots inside the box are right now. And they've also, at the other end of the pitch, become horrible at defending crosses. We're really not sure sure what's gone on here. They've conceded 9 goals in all competitions this season, which isn't too bad. However, when you look at that, 8 of those 9 have come from crosses and 6 of the 9 have come from headers. That is unacceptable. When they won the league in 2013-14, they conceded 4 headed goals all season. So it's all gone wrong for Diego Simi right now, but he will be slightly happy because Angel Correa and Yannick Carrasco are big bright spots for him. And Correa has 4 goals, 1 assist, scoring or assisting every 126 minutes, the youngster. And Carrasco, 3 goals, 3 assists, contributing to a goal every 84 minutes. We know how good and exciting player Yannick Carrasco is, and he has been since he joined from Monaco a couple of seasons ago. But what do you guys think? Can Atletico Madrid get back up in a shout with a title, or are they just falling away, and is it time for Diego Simeone to move on? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
So that was this week's Euro Roundup. Joe, what should the good viewers do after this?
Why not come over if you haven't already and watch Winners and Losers, where we break down more European football and all of the best action from the Premier League.
And of course, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.